Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at our official February forecast, going over the precipitation, temperatures, and then a lot of the model guidance and a lot of the reasons why we're forecasting what we're forecasting. Anyways, before I get into the video, be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. Let's get straight into things, and we're starting out here with our precipitation forecast. As you can see, we're starting out here with above normal precipitation there in the northern half of the country, and this actually looks a lot like what our winter forecast was calling for overall. I really do think we're going to reel things back in and be in more of the winter pattern that we really expected to take place. December was a lot closer to what we expected to take place. January has been pretty dry out west, which isn't exactly what we forecasted. It was also very, very warm, which we did kind of forecast that, but I do think February is going to be much closer to being on par with what our winter forecast was calling for. As you can see from Washington, Oregon, and take that all the way eastward to the eastern seaboard there in New England, we have above normal precipitation from coast to coast. Now, we do have an area here of moderately above average precipitation, and that's going to be for Washington, Oregon, portions of Idaho, the Rocky Mountains in general, I guess, there as well. And that's where I expect a lot of storminess to take place and a lot of snowstorms more particularly. I think it could be really, really active in this region. And if you guys live there, you know that December was a lot like this. And I do expect us to kind of go back into more of that December pattern like I mentioned before. Now, we do have a second area with this moderately above average precipitation, and this is for the upper Midwest, Ohio Valley, Great Lakes, and portions of the interior northeastern United States, where we also expect those moderately above average precipitation amounts there. Now, as we head into the southern United States here, I'm talking California, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, and even up and through Virginia, we expect below average precipitation to take place. We've seen a lot of activity roll through this region throughout January, but again, I just expect us to be in an opposite pattern of what we've seen in January. The models really trend at a lot of the teleconnections, and really what teleconnections are, they're just these charts basically that show us different temperatures in different regions, whether that be water temperatures or air temperatures. And when we see those completely flip, we know the pattern is likely to completely flip as well. One in particular is called our PNA. You might have heard me talk about that before. We expect that one to very, very sharply flip from a positive PNA all the way to a negative PNA, which usually means a completely flipped pattern here in the United States. And that's most of the reason why I anticipate this pattern to look so darn different here in February compared to January. The teleconnections definitely are on board with that, and so is a lot of the model guidance coming out as well. Now, taking a look here at our temperature forecast, we start out with some warmer temperatures here in the southeastern corner of the United States, from Texas eastward all the way through the southeast and up into southern New England and pretty much everywhere in between. We see the above average temperatures really just around for everybody for the most part. I genuinely expect this pattern to really, really take hold of the pattern overall. And as you can see, I'm going to add it on here, but we have a moderately above average temperature region as well here for Texas, Louisiana. We see Mississippi in there, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, and even a lot of Tennessee there, all involved with this above average temperature region. And this darker orange region is just where we're even more confident in those above normal temperatures. Now, as we move into the below normal temperatures, we can see a lot of the western United States is involved with this, and this is a lot more like December went, like I said before, and also for the upper Midwest as well, in through the Great Lakes. That's where I expect a lot of the cold to be, but the heart of it should be located near the Rockies, in my opinion, actually. You can tell that New England, the northern New England regions, I think will either be near normal or slightly below normal. Typically, that's an area that differs from the rest of the eastern United States, and I don't expect that to be any different this time around either. Now, this is really where we expect the heart of that cold to be here, along the western seaboard, all the way through to the Rockies as well, through some of the northern plains also. I expect all of these areas to have below normal temperatures, and I'm more confident in this region than the surrounding light blue region. Now, we even have a dark blue region. This is our third shade, and this is where we're the most confident in the below normal temperatures. That's going to be for a lot of Washington, Oregon, Nevada, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, and even Utah there, where we are very, very confident in these below normal temperatures. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to move on and take a look at some model guidance, the teleconnections, all the reasons why I'm forecasting this in just a moment. Now here we are taking a look at our European Weeklies model, and this is a very, very long-range version of our typical European model that you might be pretty familiar with. I use it very frequently on the channel. But let's just move ahead towards the first week of February, so let's find this. Okay, so this should be the first week of February, and already, let's backtrack. Okay, let's backtrack. Sorry, I'm getting a little sidetracked here. So this is the pattern here for the final week of January. Very clear trough there in the east, and kind of a ridge in the west. It's not as clear. We do have some blue, some red, but overall, I think the jet stream is moving something like that. But really, we see this just go full-on opposite by the time we're reaching literally the 1st through the 8th here. So our first little portion of February there, if you look right above that yellow line, clearly the jet stream is like this. Instantly, we flip. So trough here, ridge here. Ridge isn't huge. It's not taking up the entire eastern United States, but this is night and day compared to what we were taking a look at just a minute ago. So just very clear difference here that we're taking a look at. And still, by the time we're taking a look at the 8th through the 15th of February here, we can tell there's a big old trough right here and a bit of the ridge out west. It's kind of more neutral through here. We do have some warm here along the southeast, but a big trough centered over the west. Clearly, this is where the trough is centered, and there you can see the dark blues and those greens. That's indicating far below normal temperatures, so that is clearly where the trough is going to be centered by this point. Then let's take a look at the 15th through the 22nd. So this is like week 3 kind of. And it's the same thing. This is actually probably the warmest frame for the eastern United States. The ridge is pretty clearly in most of the eastern United States by this point. And it's important to note that by February, especially late February, we are going to be a little bit closer to springtime. Your average temperatures are starting to increase a little bit every single day. And above normal temperatures in late February is going to be a lot warmer than it would be in like the early portions of January. So it's worth noting that these temperatures might be pretty nice, I guess is what I would say, pretty temperate. There's a good chance that it could be, fairly good weather, I would say. And then our last little portion here is going to be the 22nd through the 1st of March, and we kind of revert back to kind of a pattern that's a little bit more flat, but the trough definitely is centered over the west. We have a little bit of some cold here in the eastern half of the country, but mostly neutral or warm temperatures here in the southeast. That's the trend as of right now. And when we take a look at our 30-day temperatures, is going to be January 30th through March 1st, so we get 2 days, 2 days in January, 1 day in March, and then all of February here. So it shouldn't look any different than how February is expected to look. And definitely, I would say, that might be a little different than how it looks. But something like this is definitely what this model's trending at. Cold up here, very cold here in the western United States, and then warmth overall for the southeast portion. So that is the trend right now. Here's the teleconnections. This is our P&A. This is the chart I was telling you guys about. This is the neutral line. I'm going to draw it on there. You can see we've been in the positive. We've actually been in the positive for a while, and if I was to take this back, it would be way up here because we've been in a very, very positive P&A. And this is going to quickly, this is by the time we're taking a look at the very end of January, beginning of February, or I'd say first week of February, down there at the bottom of your screen, we tank into a negative P&A. What this means is cold in the west. So imagine the left side of your screen is the west, the right side of your screen is the east, and then it's going to be warm in the east here. So just remember that. But if it's up here above this yellow line that I drew, the neutral line again, it would be warm in the west, cold in the east. So it's totally opposite. So kind of a ridge here, trough here. Here we have a trough here, ridge here. And again, this bottom one is the pattern we're expecting. It is the pattern we're expecting here in the month of February. So overall, we stay in a positive P&A up until about the 1st of February, and we tank negative, and the green line's the neutral line. We stay negative all the way through the first 2 weeks of March. So we're expected to stay into a negative P&A, all the way through February. I don't know if it'll 100% of the time stay negative, but the overall trend here is a vastly majority of the time we will be in a negative P&A, which encourages super cold air out west, super storminess out west, and fairly warm temperatures in the east is generally what you can expect for the month of February based on this. Anyway, for today's confidence tab, that's all I have to say about February. We are at a 4 out of 6, just like always. This is the highest I'll go for a monthly forecast, and actually this month seems fairly simple, so I feel quite confident. 4 out of 6 is the way I'm going to go. For today's Patron Highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our Platinum patrons, Bill Crates, James Wade, Dovin Nagel, Larry LePan, Mandy Birchfield, Patrick Strickland, Dave Scott, and Donna Carnes as well. I would also like to thank our Diamond patrons, Bill Roberts, Marcus Connolly, Noah Harley, Michael Kudalesa, Catbite, Charles Tennant, Bill Dallas, Gary's, John Calisi, and I'd also to thank our channel members, Catbite, Stephen Fan, and Jeremy Cox as well. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. I'll see you guys in the next video.